Welcome back. Nigeria's major carrier, Arik Air, has recorded a large turnout of passengers on its inaugural flight to Dubai on Monday, the 28th of July, 2014. At a formal ceremony to flag off the flight, the Group Chief Executive Officer of the airline, Michael Aruremi Ikide, said the airline hopes to deliver this service in style and comfort. The airline says it will be operating to the major Gulf city 5 times weekly from Lagos via Abuja with the Airbus 330-200, which has a capacity of about 230 passengers. Our aviation correspondent, Bukola Joe Oketumbi, reports.
Staff of Arik Air at the airline's counter at the Muritala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos, all dressed in blue t-shirts with a new message, a message that sets the tone for this small gathering.
As Nigerians continue to expand their reach into the Middle East. So it makes perfect sense that West Africa's largest airline, by any metric, number of flights, number of aircrafts, etc., by any metric should also carry our Nigerians and give them the option of flying into the Middle East safely, well, in style, and in class on Arik.
Other top shots from the tourism and ground handling sector lend their support.
They've been national carriers to all the tourism sites that were visited in Nigeria in the past 1 year. Truly, it is the safest airline in Nigeria.
I think Nigeria should be proud of Arik. Hip, hip, hip.
Speech is over. A toast to success follows.
Hip, hip, hip. Hooray!
And then it's straight to the aircraft where over 120 passengers are already seated for takeoff. 1 hour after, it's a short stop over in Abuja, where 45 others join. En route, the managing director of Arik Air takes time out to speak with passengers.
I want to thank you for believing in us, for the confidence that you reposed in us, for booking for this flight even when you have not seen the flight.
In this flight, we had a beautiful nap, and now I feel fresh. So the airline is very good. It's amazing how they've done so much.
7 hours after, passengers disembark at their destination. With the commencement of this flight, Arik Air says it's assuring its passengers of a good deal. From the Dubai International Airport in the United Arab Emirates, Bukola Joe Oketumbi, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, Arik Air has been explaining why its Lagos-New York flight was delayed for more than 12 hours, leaving many passengers stranded, including infants and minors. The airline is blaming this on the non-availability of Jet A1, which marketers have to load from the Apapa end of Lagos, which is often plagued by a terrible traffic gridlock. Channels Television spoke with 2 fathers who described the ordeal of their children who were meant to be on the flight.
Here at the Muritala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos, New York-bound passengers of Arik Air, which include infants and minors, have had to spend the night. At the moment, I'm standing very close to the new construction site of another airport to be built around this area. Authorities of the Federal Airport Authority of Nigeria say we can go in with our cameras to the Arik stand following a presidential directive. And of course, military men are around the terminal, which will make it impossible for our cameras to gain access.
They keep saying...
Channels Television got 2 fathers on camera who told us their ordeal.
So my daughter is on the flight to New York on Arik. We checked her in 9 o'clock last night. I left the airport at 11:30 when I was sure they would have at least boarded and the aircraft left. I wake up this morning, I get a call from America because a passenger in there had been kind enough to call her mother, who then called me that she didn't travel. They haven't left.
They keep saying one story or the other. In the evening, they started saying that they didn't have fuel. At some point, they said they had fuel. At another point, they now said the pilot is tired, the pilot cannot fly. They've been saying all sorts of stories, and we believe they are all stories, and they are teasing the patience of Nigeria.
Arik Airlines Senior Vice President, in his reaction, states their side of the story.
We do not have supply of Jet A1, which is aviation fuel, in time for us to operate the flights. And unfortunately, again, we were told by various marketers that the truck on their way from Apapa sincerely apologized for that delay, but it was totally beyond our control.
Meanwhile, some of the passengers affected insist a court suit against the airline might just serve as a deterrent. Bukola Jo Kitumbi, Channels Television News.
First Bank.
You're welcome to Business News Tonight. The Lagos Chamber of Commerce and Industry has revealed that the Business Confidence Index, BCI, dropped by 5.1% in the third quarter of 2014. According to a survey released by the Chamber, the third quarter of 2014 aggregate BCI declined to 14.3% from 19.4% posted in the second quarter. This represents 5.1% earlier said. That's the point drop. The LCCI says that the latest drop in the BCI suggests that business leaders remained largely pessimistic about expanding their investment over the next few months. The BCI is a leading economic indicator designed to measure the degree of optimism on the state of the economy. The Africa Leaders Summit kicked off in Washington, D.C., that's in the United States of America, with the U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry hosting a delegation of African trade ministers to review and renew the African Growth and Opportunity Act, AGOA. Nigeria's Minister of Trade and Investment, Olusegun Aganga, who spoke to Channels Television on the sidelines of the summit, said though AGOA has not generally achieved its set objectives, there is the need for a robust review of the Act to meet the current realities of the African market. Mr. Ganga also called on America to invest in Africa's infrastructure.
It's not just saying we have access to more than 6,000 tariff plans, which we can export duty-free, quota-free. We're not using these 6,000 items. It's not about numbers. What we need to do, and that should tie into Africa's transformation agenda, 2063 agenda. Today, Africa of today is from Africa of 2,000 years, or of year 2000. Today, Africa wants to industrialize. Africa wants to address the infrastructural challenges it has so that it can fully industrialize. Africa wants to play at the higher end of the value chain when it comes to export, which means we move away from raw materials to finished products, manufactured products. Industrialization is key to Africa's future. Therefore, for AGOA to be successful, it is critical that America incentivizes, encourages American investors to invest in Africa, where we have competitive and comparative advantage. It's important they invest in the areas of infrastructure, both hard and soft infrastructure. It is not a favor. We're not asking for a favor. We want a relationship that's symbiotic, which is a win-win relationship.
And in addition to that, we have our correspondent in Washington, D.C., Adeshewa Josh, to tell us more about the AGOA and, of course, the African Leaders Summit. Adeshewa, you can hear me. Hello?
Hello, Laura.
Can you quickly just give us a highlight of the African Growth and Opportunity Act? How is Nigeria leveraging on that particular act?
First, let me quickly remind you, Loretta, thank you so much, that the African Growth and Opportunity Act has been in existence since the year 2000. And not all African countries who have domiciled that act are actually really benefiting from it. Now, the act is set up in such a way to help African products be exported into the American market duty-free, and it is due to expire in the year 2015. And that's why the African Leadership Summit kicked off first with trade ministers from across Africa coming together to first renew the act so that a trade relationship between the United States and Africa can continue, and also review other parts of the act that has been limiting trade in some parts of the continent. Now, let me quickly say that this fact actually encourages more of agricultural products. And as you've heard from the Minister of Trade, he wants American government to invest in infrastructure, what Africa used to be, which is sending raw materials and the likes. Africa has gone beyond that. And now we are in a stage where we want to start exporting, I beg your pardon, finished products. So trade ministers from across Africa are meeting with the U.S. Secretary of State, John Kerry, the U.S. Trade representative, that's Michael Foreman, among others, to see these loopholes that the current AGOA Act has, and then consolidate and review to meet the current realities of the African market. And if this is done, it will be a win-win situation between the American government and the African government at large.
Okay, thank you so much, Adeshewa. I will keep a tab on you as you get more facts about activities going on at the African Leaders Summit. Thank you so much. In continuation of the business news, the ability of the Ford Ranger to ply the worst of terrains without difficulties have been verified. 5 selected drivers in a contest tagged the Ranger Odyssey in Lagos were part of the verification process. The competition organized by Coscharis Motors was won by Okezua Chinonso, who returned at the fastest time of 1 minute 30 seconds to clinch the first spot, which qualified him to fly the flag of the company in Namibia in September this year.
Welcome to the corporate headquarters of Coscharis Motors, the home of some of the world's most trusted brands of cars, like the Rolls-Royce, BMW, Jaguar, Range Rover, MG, and more. But what brings us here today, however, is this: the Ranger Odyssey, a contest to put the power of the Ford Ranger to the test, even in the roughest of terrains, and the driver's ability to engage this road monster. But first, an opening remark.
Odyssey is first and foremost an extremely tough, adventurous expedition. It will, however, include elements of competition where participating teams could test their 4x4 driving and mechanical skills.
These are the drivers screened online to take part in this assignment, one of whom would eventually represent Coscharis and the country in Namibia. The competition begins and the Ford Ranger comes alive with each driver pushing the pedal. Spectators are thrilled. The winner emerges. He interestingly took the night bus from Onitsha to be part of this event.
The time back when I tell people I like driving, I can spin, I can do stuff on the wheels, and they think maybe I'm just being, how will I put it, I'm just being careless, or you wouldn't take anywhere, you wouldn't get anywhere. Some things are not just for the money, some things are just for the fun and the adventure. Like, I didn't tell most of my people that I was coming to do a car contest, you know.
The only female driver in the competition who almost clinched the prize goes philosophical.
I expected that I would pull through. I didn't. But you know, just like life, there are ups, there are downs. You win some, you lose some.
The proof of the pudding is in the eating. And the Ford Ranger, according to the brand manager Felix Maha, is the car for Nigerian roads, no matter how tough.
And finally, on business news tonight, the Nigerian equities market witnessed a lull in activities recorded by losses from some market heavyweights. Bolaji Akinwale has details of today's figures.
Welcome to the stock market report. Sell pressure dominated activities at the Nigerian equities market as losses recorded by some market heavyweights, such as Dangote Cement, dragged the all-share index southwards. The key index lost 0.32% and finished the day's trade at 41,801.51. Market capitalization also ended lower at 13.80 trillion naira. Market breadth was however positive as 29 stocks appreciated while 26 declined. Investors shaved 3 naira 65 kobo off the share price of Dangote Cement. Guinness, PZ, Stanbic IBTC and Nestle also got the cold shoulder from investors. The top 3 price appreciators for the day were Seplat Petroleum Development Company, 7up and Mobil. Axis Bank was the most actively traded equity, churning out 36.95 million units. At the end of the day's trade, Volume came in at 287.65 million, exchanged at over 5,480 deals for 4.93 billion naira. That's it on the stock market reports. I'm Bolaji Akinwale.
And that's it also on Business News tonight. I'm Loretta Chiogo. It's back to Bimbo for the rest of the news.
First Bank.
Next on the news at 10, football matches involving Sierra Leone put on hold over Ebola. That's on Sports News. Do stay with us.